Okay, so welcome back. So we were doing the structure wizard in the last session. So I will continue it from the structure wizard again, and this time I will explain the topic import CAD and the remaining options also. So come to the structure wizard. So here we have an option import CAD models. Okay, so that means we can, as you are seeing, it is the import CAD models. That means you can use the uh, 3D models also. But for importing the 3D models, 3D model must be in the 3D single lines. That means you can't. I want to say that you can't import the polylines. Polylines means group of lines. Okay, so it's better to import the 2D plan only. It will be better to import the 2D plan and then convert the 2D plan into the 3D through the translation, repeat, and anything others. So I will first thing I will create a model, a 2D plan in AutoCAD. So just going to create a random model. So first thing will be set your unit. So as you are seeing, my unit is in the decimal and the insertion scale is of the mm. So here I will create a base plan on, like here I want to create a recording unit 3000 that will be your 3 meter length. Then after here it is of 3500, then 3000 again and close it. Now I will copy it. Just wait. Like this is your model, but before explaining it, I will explain one more thing. So mostly 2D plans in the CAD have the two lines, outer side and inner side of the wall. So this single line must be in between the midpoint of the column. I will explain it through a picture. Just wait, I can show you. I have few projects like a two-story building here. So yeah, so this was a 2D plan. So in this 2D plan, first thing will be we will create a line from the center point of the column. Like this is a column, then there is a single line. It will be from center to center. So we have to create a center line here. Then after we will import it. So after creating the simple line, your project will be shown like this. I will show you. Yeah. So you can see it. That is the file created by the center line. Like here you can see the length is 9 feet 4.5 inch, but in the real project it was, I can show you, just wait. Yeah, so inside dimension was 9 feet 4.5 inch, total width was 23 feet. Okay, but here in my CAD file you can see the total distance is 22 feet 3 inch, not the 23 feet, because half of the wall thickness will be cut, because we will create the line from the midpoint of the columns. So 4.5 plus 4.5, that means 9 inch will be minus. So 23 feet minus 9 inch will be 22 feet 9 inch. Then after we have to change the unit in the StatPro. So you know that this file is in the feet and inch. If I want to import this file, I will show you. Wait. If you want to import this file, that is your, the unit here in this file is this, so that the unit is architectural and insertion scale is of the inch. Okay, so I have to convert it into the, or into the our project. So I'm just going to import this file. So first thing will be just save this file into the DXF format. So when you will save, use the save as option, save as the drawing, then from the file of type you can change it to the DXF. Okay, so you will get the AutoCAD 2013 DXF format here. So just select the DXF format and save it. So I already converted it into the DXF format, so you can see it. So I already convert the drawing one into the DXF format. You can see here it is the DXF format. I can reopen and check it. Yeah, this DXF format here, and the dimension here it is 22 feet 3 inch. Okay. But in our StatPro, you know that we work in the metric unit. So this 22 feet 3 inch will be changed. The first thing, I'm just going to save this project as sample. At the desktop. Yeah. Then I will close it. Now come to the StatPro. First, set up the unit. So here, here it is. Yeah. So our unit is in the meter and kilonewton. Okay. Now I'm just going to import the file. So you come to the file menu. Here we have the import export option. So we can import three types of file here. So first one is the DXF, second one is QSE.ASA, that is the format of basically I just checked it, so it is a script based command, and last one is your CIS model. The extension for this type of file is .stp. So inventor software's file, that is the Autodesk product inventor. So these software's file can be imported through, can be also imported on the StatPro. So right now here we want to import the file from the DXF. So these three format will support for the importing file. So CAD format has the option of DXF, so I will pick the DXF format here. Then after, when I pick this point, go to the file. It was my local disk D, and folder was project file, and two-story building, and here it is the drawing one. So when I pick it, so it will ask for the directions. So you know that in the StatPro we use the Y up. In the stat there is the Z up. That's why it is asking to create the to set up your importing file, and in the stat we use the Y up. So I will pick it the Y up direction and click on OK. Now it is very important, set current input unit. So input file was in the inch, so I will pick the inch here. That means the length unit is in the inch, and click on the OK. So now importing is in process. So when all this file will import, you can see the model here. Now I will check the dimensions. So here it is 2.8575 meter, this line, and the total dimension is, you can come to the utilities, node tools, and node to node distance. It is 6.782 meter. So now we will convert the total values. So total dimension was 22 feet 3 inch. Okay, so 22, convert the 22 feet 3 inch into the inch, only in the inch. Okay, so it will be 267 inch. When I convert the 22 feet 3 inch into the inch, it will be 267 inch. So now I will verify you. Come to the conversion, length conversion, inch to meter. Just write the inch value, that is the 267. So it is 6.7818 meter, and we can check it here. 6.782, that is the round off value. So you can check 266 inch is equal to meter. So it is very important to select the input unit, because if you just wait. If you pick the wrong unit, then the dimensions of the beam can be changed here. Like if the DXF format was the inch, but you forget to convert it, just wait. I'm going to import it again. DXF format. Okay. And if you forget to convert the unit, yeah, if you pick the Y up and if you forget to change the unit, you pick the input value to the meter and kilonewton. So just see, it will show you, I think total length will be of 267 meter. Let me check it. Yeah, it will show you the 267 meter. That is the too much. So that's why importing unit. So before setting the unit, first thing will be you have to set the unit in the AutoCAD. Like, you know that in this project we have the unit in the mm. Okay, and this is the length unit in the decimeter. Here it is the mm, and you know that the total length is here 3500 mm, that is the 3.5 meter. Now I will import this file also. So first thing will be just save it, this file into a DXF format. So I will change it to the DXF in an older version like 2010 or 2013 version. Okay. So I will pick the file. I will save the file location to the desktop, and this is the DXF format, and save it. Okay. Now close the file, save. Okay. So just say the sample is here. The format is the DXF. If you don't close the CAD file, then the software StatPro will show you a warning of sharing violation. That's why closing the file is must thing. You have to close the CAD file after converting it into the DXF format. Okay, just you can see that I already closed it. ठीक है, गेट पे कोई है, ठीक है. So now come to the StatPro. Going to import it. सुनो, 3-4 बार बेल बजाई थी, 6-7 बार गेट कर रहा था. आप लोगों के लिए तो नाम की शुरू बेल. Let's see. Come to the desktop. Then sample was my file name, and click on the open YF. So in my CAD file, the input unit was in the mm. So you have to select the mm. If you forget to select if you forget to change it to the mm, then there will be a beam of 3500 meter length. That will be your approximate 3.5 kilometer. Okay, so I will select the millimeter here and click on the OK. Input unit must be same as it was in your AutoCAD file. So you can see here it is a 3.5 meter. Okay, so that is the process of importing the file. Then after you can use the translation repeat and all thing here. Even if I create a 3D model here in the CAD, so we can import the 3D model also here. Like I will just copy it. First thing will be I have to create a line here of like if the height is 3000 mm, that is the 3 meter. So I will create a file here, then copy it, pick the base point and click here. So this time I'm going to create a 3D model in the CAD. Okay. Then use the copy command. Base point. Now remove the bottom beams. Again, if you want to create a 5-story building, so just copy it. So now here you can see a CAD model in the AutoCAD. Then save it. Save as a DXF format, sample 3D, a DXF format, and save it at the desktop. Now I will show you one more thing. I'm not going to close this file, then see what will happen. So when I import option, DXF file, and go to the desktop, pick the sample 3D, YF. So maybe the software will crash, or yeah. In the older version, yeah, you can see the software has been crashed. Okay, but in the older version, it will show you the warning of sharing violation. Here you can see the step pro condition errors. Okay, so that's why it is very important to close the CAD file after converting it into the DXF format. So I will open the Stat Pro again, and I will close this file here. Yes, then I will save it a DWG format also. It will ask for to save you a DXF format and similar a DWG file also. So I will save the DWG file also here. Now in the Stat Pro, just remember one thing, line must be a single line. As in the CAD, I didn't join any line. If you join them, then it will be a 3D polyline, and in the Stat Pro, you can't see the imported project because it will not import a 2D polyline. It will only import the 3D polyline. Okay, so come to the import option, DXF format, same steps will be there. So the desktop, a sample 3D, okay, Y up, and input length was the mm, so I will pick it according to that. Now you can see it is reading the input file and it will import it like this. Okay, so you can see the 3D model here. So that is the import process. Same thing you can import it through the structure wizard also. It will work same as from the file menu. So you, when you use the import CAD model and select the scan DXF, then it will ask the path of DXF format. You can see it, the file type as a DXF. So from the import CAD model using the structure wizard, you can only import the scan DXF format. That is, you can only import the DXF. Okay. So that was your structure wizard. Now, yeah, so now I will explain the properties method. That will be your, after completing your modeling tools has been completed. Now we will continue from the properties. So under the properties, basically we have total 3 options: property, material, and specification. And you can see it through the specification menu also. So under the specification menu, you can see the beam profile. So this beam profile has been signed through the properties. Next thing is the material. So you have the material constant of menu also in the specification. That is the material tab in the specification menu. Then there is a support tab also. Support, in the under the support panel, you can see there is a fixed pinned custom type of support, and you can directly assign it to the support. So I will start with from the basic properties. Then after I will explain changing how to change the material constraint and how to change the uh, few specifications like beta angle and other things. So just see. So when I click on the properties here, a window properties whole structure will be open. So 3 options: section, database, define, 3 main thing from which we can define the properties. So everyone please note it down very properly. Through the if you want to assign the property to a concrete column and beam, so we have to use the define option here. If we want to assign the properties of a concrete beam and column, then we will use the define menu. And if you want to assign the thickness of any concrete plate, then we will use the thickness. So it will be used for the plate. That will be your slab. Okay. So for the slab, we have the thickness option to provide the properties. And if there is a steel structure, then we will use the section database. Okay, so come to that. I will start from the define here. So under the define, when I click on the define, first thing will be your section profile. So here you are seeing a circular section, rectangular section profile, T-shape, trapezoidal, general, and tapered, all these things. Okay. So for the in the tapered and the tapered eye, you can see it according to this. If it is a concrete tube, so you can provide the values accordingly. Even if it is a steel tube, you know that in the steel we have the steel shape like S shape, W shape, tube, pipe. So all these tube can be defined through the this define menu also. Okay, so we can't say for steel structure we only use the section database. We can define the steel shape through the define also. Okay, so for from the define, but most of the time in our RC concrete we have to use the define menu. We can't provide the RC concrete a concrete structure through the section database. From the section database, we only define the steel shape, but for the concrete design, we have to use the define only. But for the steel, we can use the define and section database both. Okay. So whenever you we will provide the properties. So here we have an option of material also, like if it is a, if your column is of a circular shape but of a steel, so you can select the steel. So here we have different type of steel: stainless steel, steel is the 295 Newton per mm square. So according to the values you can select them. So I will select it. Okay. Next thing, if your column is of rectangular, so just select the rectangle and provide the value yd and zd. So it will be the thickness of the steel. So here in the define, you are seeing the unit is in mm. So see it very properly, because I just changed the input when I was importing the file. So our custom setting was in the mm. So I will convert it into the meter and kilonewton and apply it. Let me check the properties again. So now it is in the meter. Okay. Yeah. So if your column is of 0.3 by 0.35, so just provide the value. So this yd and zd, you have to see the direction. Zd and yd, it will decide the orientation of the beam. So I can show you. First I have to save the project. Let me assign this value one time. Whenever I use the properties, sometimes software has been crashed, so I will see it. Maybe it will be crashed. That's why I just save the project. Okay. So it doesn't matter if it will crash. Yeah, obviously it has been crashed. It happens maybe in this particular version. I have to change this version, but right now I don't have the time to change it. So maybe in your system it was working very properly. Whenever you provide the properties, it will not crash. It is crashing in my system only. I will save it. I will save the file. That's why before I'm defining assigning the properties, I already saved the structure. Yeah. So come to the property. This time it will be defined very properly. Yeah. So properties was 0.3 by 0.35, and other was 0.23 by 0.23. So let me assign it. I will explain this assigning method. So there are total 4 types of assignment method. Okay, this is the defining process. That means we can define the property through a define menu, but assigning is a different thing. So we have total 4 type of assignment method. So first one is assigned to the selected beam. That means here we will select the beam first. That means column first or member first. We can say we will select the member first. Then this option will be highlighted. Like if I just select this beam, now it is visible. That means using this method, for using this method, we have to select the structure first. Okay. Now I will assign it. So come to the property. Just wait. Just going to see the render view. Now I'm just zooming it, so you can see very properly. Here along the z-axis it is 0.35, along the x-axis it is 0.3. Okay, so just see. So you can see along the x-axis it is 0.3, along the z it is 0.35. That is the member orientation. So yeah, along the y means it will be along x-axis, and z, it is obviously it is the z. In the column we don't have the x, that but the software's perspective you can see the yd. So for the column, y will be lie for the x direction, it will be along the x-axis. And in case of beam, when I select the beam like this, So here along the beam, you can see Y. Okay, so Y will be, if I provide the property for this beam here, so Y will be along the Y axis and Z will be along the Z axis. But for this beam, here you can see this beam is lying along the Z axis. That means Y direction and Z direction will be according to the values. That means here Y will be this and Z axis is along here. So you can see along the X length, thickness of this beam will be along the X axis. So this X axis will be work according to the Z. So just provide this value very carefully. Sometimes that's why we use the beta angle to rotate them. If you provide the value wrong, then just don't change them. Just provide the beta angle. So this beta angle will rotate this column along its axis. Okay. So that means we have to provide the beta angle to the 90 degree. So when I provide the beta angle to 90 degree, this beam will be rotated. To see it very properly, I can show you one more thing. I'm just going to change the thickness here. Like I just provide the value 0.5. So you can see it very properly. So now it is very clear. It will be your 0.5 and it will be your 0.3. Okay. That means 0.5 is along the z-axis and 0.5 is along the 0.3 is along the x-axis. So defining the property is very crucial here. Orientation of the beam and everything must be defined through these values. Now going to explain the assignment method. So first was your assign to the selected beam method. Second one is your use cursor to assign. So in a multi-story building, there are when there are many columns or many members, then we don't use cursor to assign method, because so this method we have to click on the each member one by one. Okay, that means first thing will be just select this method, then click on the assign, then after that select the members where you want to assign this. Even you can't drag and assign this value, you can't select them through the drag method. That's why this method will be used only when there are very few members, like 2, 3 or 4, 5 members. But more than, if there are many members, then please don't use this method. So we have another method, assign to the edit list. So through this method, first thing will be you have to know all the member numbers where you want to assign the properties. Like if I want to assign the properties for the member number 1 to 100, so all the member 1, 2, 3 up to the 100 will get this property, that is the 0.3 by 0.5. So this is also a very tough method, because knowing the all members number is very tough. Okay, so this method will be used only when there are very few members, that will be the countable members. Okay, if you count them through your eyes, then you can use the assign to the edit list also. Next thing is the assign to view. So if I use the assign to view, in that condition all the members, that means beam, column, everything will be assigned with the property of 0.3 by 0.5. But here I want to assign this property for the column only and this property for the beam. That means all these three options will be very tough to use. Even this first, second and third is a very tough, but we can't use the last option, because all the column, all the members will get the properties, will get the same properties. Okay, but here we want to assign the properties to different type of properties. For the beam is different and for the column is different. So we have to use the first method, that is assign to the selected beam. So for this, first thing will be arrange your structure in the front view and select all the column one by one. So but we can select them through the dragging method, like this. First thing will be select this property R1, that is the reference one, then select them, this is the column, then press the control and yeah. So here you are seeing a rectangular selection window that is shown with the dotted line. So when you use this option, just make sure this rectangular selection window must cover the more than 50% part of the column. If it is covering less than 50% part of the column, it will be unselected. Okay, when you select more than 50% part, then it will be selected. If I select less than 50%, you can see we are not able to select the column here. So covering up the more than 50% part will select your window. Don't forget to press Control here. So now you can see all the column has been selected, and now click on assign to the selected beam here and click on the assign. Okay, so all the column will get the properties. You can save through the render view also. You can see the render view through the view menu. Go to the view menu, and here at the last you can see the 3D render view. I just add the 3D render view as a in the quick access toolbar so that I can use it. So here all the column has been assigned. Now the condition is at the corner. If you if I want to rotate the column, so for this we have an beta angle option. So come to the beta angle, then click on create beta angle and provide the angle in degree, like I want to rotate it in the 90 degree. Okay, now select the beta angle, then come to the top view. So I want to change the beta angle for this column and this column. You can see here at the corners. So you can see now all the corners column has been assigned. Now click on assign to the selected beam. So you can see R1 beta 90. Now I will show you the render view one more time. So in this render view, you can see the corners column has been rotated. I'm just going to zoom it. Yeah, now you can relate it. This corner column has been rotated with the angle of 90 degree. So this beta angle will use for rotating the columns. Okay. Now come to the properties again. This time I will assign this property for the beam only. So again, just arrange the structure in the front view and select the beam only. And this time please try not to select the more than 50% part. If you select the more than 50% part, all the column will be selected. If just select it through this window, you can see now I am able to select the beam only and assign this property to the selected beam. So this was your assignment method for the properties. So up to the assignment method, do you have any doubt? We have one more simple method of selection, but this selection method can be used only when beam are parallel to X, Y, or Z axis. Okay, so here in this project, all the beams are mostly either they are parallel to the X or Z or Y. Okay, that's why here for this project we can use the another method also. But if any beam which is not parallel to the X or Y or Z axis, then we have to use this method which I explained. Okay, just select the structure from the front view or top view or any side view. Okay, so this will be the universal method of selection. Now I will explain another simple method of selection. Like if you want to select all the columns only, so you know that the columns will be parallel to the y-axis. So in the select menu, we have a beam panel. Here in the beam we have an option parallel. So when I click on the parallel and select parallel to the Y, so all the column has been selected. This will be the simplest method. Like same thing, if you want to select the beam which is parallel to the X and Z, so you can select them through the select menu also. So in the select menu, we have an option beam parallel to X and beam parallel to Z. So you can see the beam which are parallel to X and Z has been selected. But sometimes in our project, maybe there will be a beam which is not parallel to the X and Z. Then there is a simple one method, arrange the structure from the front, side, or top or bottom. From where you are able to select them, just arrange the structure in that particular way. Okay. So that was the selection method also. This is the select menu. Same if there is any slab. So in the StatPro, we know the slab with the name of plate. So we have a plate option also, plate parallel, and this plate will be parallel to the plane, not to the any axis. So you will see parallel to the XY, YZ and XZ. It is a plane. So right now we don't have any plate. So first thing will be we have to create the plate here. So now I'm just going to explain how to create the plate. So we have total two methods of creating plates. Okay. So first thing will be your single plate that will be used through the add plate option, and second will be your generate mesh. So generating mesh will be very complicated and very, this will create a multiple slab. That means through the meshing we will divide the slabs into few small portions, and generating mesh will give you the more accurate data. That's why mostly we use the generate mesh. If you are going to analyze only beam and column, then it will be it doesn't matter to create the plate, or if you create the plate through the add plate also, so it can be done through the add plate directly. But you want the plate stress and absolute stress at the corner or on the plate. In that condition we will use the meshing option. So I will start with the simple method, that is the add plate. Then after that I will explain the meshing also. So I want to add a plate at the top, so I can use the add plate option. So here we have two types of plate method, quadrilateral and triangular. So here you are seeing our structure is in a quadrilateral shape. So I will pick the add quad plate. If you want to add a triangular plate, so just click on the drag and drop. So you will get an triangular plate option also here. So add plate option has been activated. So just click on the or all corners here. So you can see a plate has been created at the top. Then after, through the plate cursor, click at the top, you will see the top plate has been selected. Now when I say click on the render view, you will see only the plate has shown. Okay. If you either select all, in the render view, if you want to see everything, so just don't select anything. Click on the render view directly, you will see the render output for the complete project. But if you want to see the render project for a single column or single beam, just select them and click on the 3D render view. So now you will be able to see the, okay. Okay. So just see it. If I just select the two, these two beams, and I'm click on the 3D render view, so I will see the render view of these two columns only. Okay. But if you want to see the render view of the complete structure, don't select anything or select everything. If I select through this, so all the beam has been selected, not the slab. That's why you will not see the plate here. To select the complete structure, we have one more cursor, geometry cursor. So go to the select menu and select the geometry cursor. Okay, so here it is your geometry cursor. Through the geometry cursor, we can select all beam, column and slab at a time. Now you can see the render view. So it's better to do not select anything and see the render view directly. Okay, this will be the best thing. Now I just create the slab at the top. Now I want to create the slab at the other floors also. So just select that slab and click on the translational repeat here. In the geometry menu, we have the translational repeat. The height of the slab was 3 meter. Let me check height of the each floor. It was 3 meter. Yeah. So just select the top slab through the plate cursor and use the translational repeat. It will be along global y direction. Number of step are 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we have to put the value 3 meter with the negative sign. Don't link them because there is already columns. So please don't use the link option. Just click on the OK. So I just provide the distance through the minus sign. So it will be created at each floor. Next thing will be provide the thickness and assign it. Okay. So for this, go to the properties and to define the properties for the just click on the thickness option. So here we have total 4 nodes, node 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if your slab is of a universal thickness, that means we can say all 4 corners has equal thickness. So just provide the same value. So if it is of 150 mm, then I will provide the value 0.15 because the unit is in the meter. If your each corner has different thickness, so you can change the thickness according to that values. Okay. Next thing will be assignment of these values.
Ameji, there is a query in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm just checking, sir. Please repeat this plate assigning process and where in actually scenario they are used. Okay, I will explain the plate scenario where, when to use and everything. When I do the concrete design and just going to repeat how we create this. Okay, so assigning process is still pending. I didn't assign the plate thickness here. So I just create the plate. So I think Mr. Ankur, you are asking for creating creation of the plate, not the assignment process, because I didn't assign the thickness here. So let me delete. Yeah. So first thing I will delete the plate here. Come to the plate cursor and select drag and drop. So all the plate has been selected now. Okay, so first thing I will explain when to use the plate. Okay. First thing, when in your real structure, you know that there will be floor and roofing, and each roof and floor have its own weight. Okay, so either calculate that load manually and apply that load on the column directly. That means apply that load to the beam and it will transfer the load towards the column and then after towards the foundation. So either create the plate manually, then you don't have to calculate its weight. But if you don't create the plate here, then in that condition we have to calculate the plate value manually. Okay, so there will be formulas like if your plate thickness is of 150 mm and concrete grade is of M20, then unit weight of concrete is 20 kilonewton per meter square. In that condition, just use the formula plate thickness multiply by concrete grade, and it will give you the unit weight of your plate. Okay, so second thing, if you don't want to calculate these values, just create the plate and assign the thickness. Then software will calculate the weight of the plate according to the plate thickness. Okay, so this will be the scenario when to use the plate. Second thing, sometimes we have to provide the plate stress values, like you are creating any structure like a water tank. In that condition, pressure of water on the slab must be defined, and the output will also have to show in your output file. That's why we have to create the plate there. In your building structure, you can skip the plate creation of the plate, because we can calculate the weight of the plate manually also. But if there is requirement to show the plate stress, then we have to create the plate here. One more thing, that is the very important thing. If you want to show the plate stress, then please don't use the add plate option. Then we have to use the generate mesh option. Here it is. Earlier I already told, we have total two types of plate. First one will be add plate method, second one will be your generate mesh option. Because when I use the add plate option, there will be only 4 corners. You can see it. Just wait. To the plate cursor, I can show you. Here in this plate, we have only 4 corners, and due to this, software will not calculate the plate stress. So we will use the generate mesh option. So just see how we will use the generate mesh. So go to the generate mesh and click on the create mesh. Then click on the same 4 corners. One by one. Sometimes you are seeing, yeah, then at the last point. So there are total 2 types of meshing. So as you are seeing, this is our quadrilateral shape. So I will prefer to use the quadrilateral. In case of polygonal shape or in the circular shape, we use the polygonal meshing. So at the top, you can see the shape of our columns. That we can say it, the plate shape is creating a quadrilateral shape. That's why we will pick the quadrilateral meshing here and click on the OK. Now see, the total length is approximate 12 meter. You can see it here, it is a 12 meter. So I will give the division to 12 here, because dividing the plate, that means this will divide the plate in 12 equal parts. You can see it here. Now go to the plotting here. See at the top, you can see here the plate. I'm just zooming it. You can see here it is the few grids. That will be your joints. It is your joints. So go to the geometry, then you will be able to see the more nodes. So in the meshing option, there will be more nodes. So this creating more dense meshing will give you the more accurate data. Okay, so just pick the plate cursor and I will show you the length. So approximate length of this is of 1 meter. I can show you to the node to node distance option also. Go to the utilities menu, node tools, node to node distance. Here it will be 0.875 meter. Okay, less than 1 meter. So just remember one thing, whenever you use the meshing option, please divide it into the less than 1 meter value, because it will create the more number of nodes. Then this will be this software will be able to calculate the plate stress very properly. If you create the meshing with more than 1 meter or more than 1.5 meters, in that condition its software will show you the plate stress also, but this distribution of the plate stress will be not too great, because creating more nodes will give you the more data. Okay, so in the building structure, mostly we use the meshing in place of add plate. So, we will use the add plate method only when we have to assign the plate load, but it is required to calculate the plate stress, then please use the meshing option. I think it is clear to everyone when to use the meshing and when to use the plate option. Either you can skip the add plate option also, because in that condition we will calculate the plate load manually, and then I will assign that load through the floor load. So when I will define the loading, then here in the loading you will see, just see, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to explain. Let me create it. Yeah, so if I create the plate in our structure, then the weight of the plate will be assigned through the its self weight, and the load on the plate due to the furnitures and other things will be defined through the plate load directly, because because we have already create the plate here. But if we don't create the plate here and add the plate load manually, so we have to use the floor load to assign that load. Okay, so you will get the floor load option here. Here it is, the floor load option. So through the floor load, we will add the load of slab if we don't create the slab. But if you create the slab, then the load of the slab will be assigned through the self weight, and the load on the plate due to the human beings, that will be your live load, will be assigned through the plate load. Is that clear to everyone? Ankurji, I think you have cleared your doubt, or I have to explain more. Okay, so whenever I do the loading options, then you will get it very properly also. Okay, so manual work will be more good to explain these things. So come to the properties again. So plate thickness, there will be again assigning method, for assigning method. So we can use mostly if the in the each floor plate, the slab thickness of the slab will be same. That's why most of the time we will use the assign to view option. Using this method, all the plate will get the its thickness at a single time. If you have plate of different thickness at different floor, in that condition we have to use assign to the selected plate method. That means first of all we have to select that particular plate, then after we have to select the assign to the selected plate method and click on the assign. So here you can see, I will just explain it. In my geometry, first thing I will select the plate cursor and select all the plate. Then after I will use the translation repeat method. Direction Y value will be -3 meter, and the number of step was 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Don't click on the link step. Yeah. Now come to the properties. If all the plate has the same property, then just assign the value, just click on the assign to view, select the plate property, assign to view, and click on assign. So all the plate will be assigned with a thickness of 0.15. Okay. If your plate has different thickness at different intervals, then first I will delete it, then I will recreate it. Come to the come to the thickness option. I just click on the section database. So now I have to wait for few seconds because it will open the properties for the steel. Just wait. Now come to the thickness option. Thickness 0.15. Next one is of 0.115. Okay, so if our top roof is of 0.115, so I just select this and arrange it into the front view, pick the plate cursor, and select the top plate. Then after, click on assign to the selected plate and click on the assign. Now remaining parts would be of 0.15, so select the plate 1.5 and select remaining plate and click on assign to the selected plate. So you can see all the plate have different thicknesses. Okay, now come to the section database option. That will be the defining properties for the steel structure. Okay, so here in the section database, we have different shapes of steel. So just click on the section database. It will take 5 to 10 seconds to open the section database table. Here it is. So here you will get many country codes like America, Australian, Brazilian, British, and Indian design code also. And few companies like Tata Structure, Jindal Steel, you will get the code for these companies also. So come to the Indian design code. So under the Indian design code, you will get the shape of the steel ISLB 75. And I think it is very clear to everyone what's the mean of ISLB 75. So it will be your Indian standard lightweight beam and ISHB, ISMB, medium beam, high weight beam, okay, HB. So there will be wide beam, WB, okay. So there will be different type of, and this value 75 means the section depth of this will be of 75 mm. So I will show you the section profile also. You can see it through the view table. So it is your ISLB, stat name is ISLB 75, AX and D is the section depth, it is 75. ISLB section depth is of the 100 mm, so its name is the ISLB 100, and you will get the thickness of the planes and web also here. So let me explain it. Just wait. Yeah. So this is your flange, this is your web here. So according to the web depth, the section the name of the steel is done just like if it is the ISLB 100. So that means the 100 is the total section depth, and here web thickness, flange thickness, everything will you can see it through the So here is the BF, that is the flange width. Okay, thickness of the flange, this is the TF, width of the flange, thickness of the flange. So according to the code like ISLB, these values will be fixed. So I can show you the this value here also. Just wait. Here, like if it is a lightweight beam ISLB 75, so you can see the table here also. and even you can get the unit weight of 1 meter unit weight. That means the unit 1 meter length of a steel will get a weight of 6.10 kg, and in the for the 1 meter 1 foot length you will get the weight like this. And there are a few values also. Let me show. Yeah, depth of the section, that is the 75 mm. Width of the flange is 50 mm. Okay, so for a ISLB 75, width of the flange will be 50 mm. That means from this point to this point it will be 50 mm, and thickness of the flange is 5 mm. This will be the thickness of the flange, and this will be thickness of the web, and it is thickness of the web is 3.70 mm. So you can verify it through the STAAD also. Let me click on the section database again. All these value you can get in the section database also. Then assignment process will be the same. Assign to the selected beam, use cursor to assign to the edit list, and assign to the view also. Just defining process will be different. Okay, so go to the view table. Again, you can see it here. So depth was, web thickness was 3 mm, and flange thickness was 5 mm. So you can see it, flange thickness is 5 mm, and the web thickness here it is 3.70 mm. So you can see it here. Same if it is a eye shape or tube shape, so you can see it according to that. So like here you are seeing a tube 25 by 25 by 2.6. Okay, so tube will be in we can say tube will be in cross section value will be a elliptical shape. So major axis and minor axis, if the major axis and minor axis are same width, so it will be a circular shape. So this is a basically a round shaped tube that we can say a cylindrical shape, and the thickness of this tube is 2.6 mm. Okay, same you can see a different thickness values also, like 65 by 32. That means the major axis of the tube is 65 mm, minor axis is of the 32 mm, and the width of the tube section is 3.7 mm. So these values will define the properties of the tube. Okay, you can see the name according to that. So we have different type of steel shape, and so for the angle, for the channel shape, that will be the C channel, T shape, there will be different type of steel shape. So I will explain the steel shape and few more details when I will do the steel design also. Okay, so that was the it was the defining and assignment process of the properties. Okay, and after the properties, this creating the properties, next thing will be assignment of the support. But before the assignment of the support, I will explain few materials options also. Like if you want to change the few properties of any material, so go to the material. If you want to change the material of the concrete, so here it is the default material properties. When you click on the edit, you can see the property, but you can't change the Young modulus and Poisson ratio here. So if you want to change the material property according to you, then we have to create the material. Okay, like if the density, if you want to change the density to the 24 kilonewton per meter cube, so either just create a new material through the create option, go to the create, and then provide the material name. So I will select the material as it was the earlier concrete, then provide the name. Don't use the space here, so you can use the dash or underscore, anything. So I will just provide the concrete and then give a new property, and you want to change the density here, so just change it according to you need. Like if I want to change it to the 24, then click on the OK, and you will see the concrete new has been assigned, and you want to assign it to your structure. So where you want to assign it, if you want to assign it to the complete view, so just assign it to the view. So all the member will be assigned with the concrete underscore new. That means this time I just change the property of the material, properties of the material manually. Okay, So this is the process of creation of the. If you use the space button, then it will not be able to change it. Like if I just provide the concrete, yeah, anything CON, press NEW, so it will be, yeah, it will be. So when you assign this value, software will not read it properly. You can see it through the come to the utilities command file also. Yeah. So here through the command file, we can change the material directly. Let me explain the command file mean. So in this structure, you are seeing that I define, create the material. First I created the structure of beam, column and slab. Then I define the properties. Now go to the utilities menu. That means sometimes we can change the property through the utilities menu also. Not only the property, even the shape and everything also. Sometimes our software has a workflow, like I will explain. I just create a structure here. Now I want to add the floor diaphragm here. So after defining the properties, if I assign the floor diaphragm, then software will give you a warning, and you can't change the step after. Like I just create the structure, then I define the properties, and then after I provide the material constant, then after I will provide the support. But if the software say you have to provide the support before the properties, so now you can't change it because you already defined the properties. That means you can't change the step which you already done. Either recreate the structure or use the utilities menu. So it will change the steps. Okay, I'm just going to explain it again. जैसे किसी भी वर्क को करने के कुछ स्टेप होते हैं. You just complete the step 1, then step 2, then step 3. If you forget the step 2 and complete the step 3, now that means you can't do the step 2 now. That means step 3 has been step 2 has been replaced with the step 2. That means you can't here you can't change your steps. Okay, because इट इज वी कैन से कि जैसे कि आपने कोई वर्क किया हुआ है तो उसका प्रोसेस चेंज नहीं हो सकता कि आपने जो स्टेप पहले कर लिया हुआ बाद में हो जाए. ओके, लाइक अगर कोई डे आपका एक पास्ट हो गया है कि मंडे आ गया है बिफोर द ट्यूसडे, सो यू कांट प्लेस द ट्यूसडे बिफोर द मंडे. ओके, दिस इज द स्टेप्स वैल्यू कि आप कोई भी स्टेप आगे पीछे होगा तो आप उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकते हो. बट थ्रू द यूटिलिटीज वी कैन चेंज देम. हाउ? जस्ट सी इट. So come to the command file and just see here. Let me yeah. So here you can see so first thing will be your, I just import this file from the DXF. So you will see stat space DXF import of the sample 3D. Then after start new job information, on which date I do it. This is the software's language input with 79. Then what is the unit? You can see it is the MMS kilonewton. Okay. Then joint coordinate, that means it is the coordinate value. After the joint coordinate, there will be member specification values. So you can see the member values also, member incidences. You can see this is the beam details. Okay, that is beam number 1 is created by the node number 1 and 2, and at the top you will get the node number with its coordinate value. Then after, next thing will be your element incidences. That means your slabs detail. Then after, next thing will be I just changed the unit when I provide the properties. Right now default unit was in the MMS, that was the but I just changed it to the meter. So you can see the steps here. Then after I define the properties for the slab, you can see the slab properties here. Then after I change the isotropic values here, you can see it. Now, if the requirement is I want to change the step, that mean I want to provide the member property before the slab property. So just select the member properties here and press Ctrl Z. That will be your cut. Ctrl X. Okay. Then paste it before the element properties. Just press here, enter, and press Ctrl V. So that member properties has been defined before the element properties, and save it. So software will recreate the steps. Okay, like I already defined the properties. Now I'm just going to define the support. If I create a fixed support here, and I will assign this support to the bottom points and use the assignment method again, assign to the selected. I will okay. So if the software will give you an error and say, please use the support before the properties. So now through the manual process, you can't do it. I can't assign the support before the properties because I already assigned the properties and then after I create the support. But software's requirement is please use the support before the properties. So we can change it through the utilities menu. Come to the utilities, go to the command file, just save it and come to the last point. So you will see here at the bottom, I just create the support. So just select the support here and it is a fixed support. So you will get the complete properties and details of the project from here also. Just select them and cut them through the Ctrl X, then paste it before the properties. That means support has been defined before the properties assignment. So this will be your process of changing the commands priorities. Okay, this is very important because few commands like floor diaphragm and your load list command, it has its specific position. You can't do them before few other commands. Like you can't create the floor diaphragm after defining the floor properties, but sometimes we forget to do it. In that condition, software will give you give you an error. So you have to change it through the command input file. Through the command input file, even we can create the structure also. Like if you want to insert any node and want to create any beam, so you can do it through the command file also. So command file is a very important thing. I will explain few methods like creating a spherical, we can say few staircases like a single flight stair or your spiral stairs can be done through the command file also, because there in the spherical, in your staircase, if you want to create a spherical staircases, there you have to use the command file option, because creating the files through the command editor will create your structure by providing only 2 or 3 lines of the commands. You can see there will be many commands if you want to change them. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to remove few beams here. If the beams are not required and you want to remove them, so go to the member incidences and select them. I'm just going to remove few beams here, not the complete. So if you can delete them, so that means you can also create them also. Okay, I'm just going to remove them. Most of the beams has been deleted. So when I press the Ctrl S and close it, you will see in our structure, yeah, it is showing few errors also. That means properties will be missing here. Yeah, you can see the properties and for the beta angle values which I defined earlier. That means we have to remove that beta angle command also. Okay. Or we can select Control A. From the joint command here. Just going to delete the complete structure from the command file also. Yeah. Now press Control S. All the properties and everything has been removed here. You can see it. Go to the properties. Now you are seeing that I just defined 3 properties. First one was total 4 properties. First one was for the beam and column. Second was for the slab. Everything has been removed from here. Now I'm just going to show you how to create few structures. Just see, if I write down here joint coordinate, that is the COO, you can write the COO also in place of the coordinate and press enter. Now going to create a node 1 and the coordinate value for the node is 0, 0, 0. Then now you can see a node 1 and the position of that node is 0, 0 will be created here. You can see it through the geometry. Here it is. And the coordinate value for this node is 1001. So through the utilities and command file, we can create the structures. I can show you one more thing. Just see, the just going to create one node 1. Okay, join coordinate node 1 and the coordinate value is 0, 0, 0, and the last node number 10, and the coordinate value for that particular node is at a distance of 11, 0, 0. That means here I didn't place the semicolon. That means node number 1 to 10, that means 2, 3, 4 will be created directly here. Just see it. You can see the node number. I will show you the node number. So node 1 to 10 and the coordinate value for the node number 10 will be 1100. You can see it here. So this is the process of creating the structure through the command files also. So by giving only one line, you can see I just create that 10 nodes. Same in spherical staircases, spiral staircases, we can create a complete spiral stairs through the 2 lines of commands. Okay, I will show you in the next session. So up to this point, if you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Tomorrow we will continue from the support and then after the loading also.